I'm going to show you how we do seed starting here without a greenhouse.
If you take one step, then you will be a little closer to your dream than if you stay.
What's going on, guys? Jason over here at Cog Hill Farm, and it is getting time for us to start planting our garden, start some seedlings inside, and getting ready to plant in the spring and for the summer. And that's what we're going to do today. Just going to take y'all along with us. So we are in Zone 8. We're in Central Alabama. We're Zone 8, and we're kind of Zone A, 8A, 8B. But we're going to go ahead and start ours indoors because it's just too early to start them outside because you just don't know. It's so unpredictable right now. We are going to use Hoss Seeds this year. This is Hoss Tool Company. They got their own seed business now. I love working with these guys, partner up with these guys. So everything today is pretty much going to come from them. Even the seed trays came from them, and the potting soil. So check those guys out. Link down below to Hoss Tool Company and their seed page. They got a ton of stuff. And if you're in Zone 8 or if you're in the southeast area, this is what they're growing because these guys are in Georgia. So they know what grows well in our area. We'll go over what we're gonna sow today, and I'll show you how we're gonna do it inside, our little setup we got going on. So yeah, let's get started. We are using Pro Mix. Now this is what's sold by Hoss Tools. You know, long as you got a good seed starting mix, and you want a seed starting mix, you do not want a pot mix. You want a seed starting mix. There's a huge difference between the two. Seed starting mix is super sterile. There's nothing in here. You don't want any fungus or bacteria or anything that could cause any harm to your little seedlings because they're so fragile at this point. Pot and mix usually has, most of it usually has fertilizers in it unless you get organic, but it's got a mixture of compost and all that kind of good stuff, and it is for established plants, mature plants that need nutrients. Your seeds are going to get their nutrients from the seed itself. It's already packed full of stuff. It needs to pop up and get going. Now at a certain point, you are going to have to take it out and repot it or take it out and put it in the ground. And the same with the seed trays. There's 1,000 different seed trays out there. We got several different types. I even have a styrofoam type that's very similar to this Hoss one. They all work well. They really do. I've even seen people make them out of the toilet paper rolls, cups, whatever you got will be perfectly fine. I will say that this Hoss Tool seed tray is super thick, and this thing feels like, you know, an elephant could stand on it. Well, first thing we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and put our soil mix in the seed trays and then just kind of figure out what we want to plant this year and how much. We're going to plant 2 tomatoes this year. We're going to plant the Bella Rosa tomato and the Sun Gold. This is going to be our little bitty cherry style tomato, and this will be our slicer, canner, all-purpose type tomato. Never had either one of these. I know there's huge rave reviews on these Bella Rosas. People absolutely love this tomato. Matter of fact, there's some that say this hybrid is just as good as flavor-wise as any heirloom out there. So I'm super excited about this tomato. The Bella Rosa are pelleted seeds, which is great. Pelleted, they got a little coating on them, and it just makes it easier to plant, especially for smaller seeds.
Just kind of
just like you're doing. It's perfect. 2 summer squash we're going to go this year, again from Hoss Tools. Gold Prize squash, which is your straight neck yellow squash, and this one I'm super stoked about. I've never had this one before. It's called 8-ball squash. I generally will get squash borers on mine, so I'm going to try to get these things in the ground as soon as I can and just harvest what I can, and when the squash borers come, or if they do come, then you know, I'll have a good harvest off of it. And I've tried tried just about everything. I've tried everything organic that I know to do. I mean, and I've put aluminum foil around the base. I've tried all type of organic style repellents, organic insecticides and soaps, and it may slow them down just a little bit, but I've never been able to stop them. So gonna get these things in the ground early, and whatever happens, happens. We're gonna grow a purple bell pepper again from Hoss, Merlot bell pepper, and then we're gonna grow this sweet pepper that I have no idea how to say. I know I say Aruba, but that second word, forget about it. I'm not gonna mess that up. But we're gonna grow these. Nubia eggplant, which I've never grown before. I typically have grown the Japanese style eggplant, the skinny and long here.
Where'd it go?
Right there. I'm watching him. Two of them. 3 of them.
Where's the third?
Right there. One pest I usually get with eggplants here are flea beetles. We'll just have to watch out for that and just handle it as it comes along. We're going to do the national pickling cucumber this year because we love making pickles here, and we eat a ton of pickles here. Spring Chinese cabbage, we're going to grow that this year. I've never grown this before. This will be a new one for us. We're going to do moon and stars watermelon, which I've heard great reviews about. Some things that I'm not going to start in the seed trays that I'm just going to plant in the ground once the soil gets warm. And that's going to be rattlesnake pole beans. I'm sure you could start them in the trays, but typically beans and even watermelons, but typically beans. And another one is okra. I'm going to start okra direct seeded in the ground. These do really well by just direct seeding. This is one Hoss does, is jambalaya. I also have some seeds that I save on okra seeds because okra seeds are so easy to save. These big thick seeds like peas and okra, they're so simple to save. Just let a pod dry out. When it dries out, then you can save the seeds out of it. It's so easy. And another thing I'm going to direct sow that I got from Hoss is Zipper Queen, and then we're going to probably maybe do some pink eye purple hulls. I'm going to grow this year. I actually bought these seeds last year to grow and totally lost them, misplaced them, and then I stumbled across them about 3 or 4 months ago. But that is a Thai red. It's a hibiscus. I love making my own teas. Now just water them in real good. I like to use a misting setting. Now I'm going to take them inside and I'll show you how we're going to do it inside our little setup we got going on. So this is what we're going to do in the house. I don't have a greenhouse, so this is where I'm going to do it without a greenhouse. This is actually my studio. This is my room, and I got an LED light. You want the daylight one, and you want it at least 2500 lumen, but it can be higher than that. These are seedlings, so you don't have to have a grow light for seedlings. You only need a full spectrum grow light if you're trying to grow a mature plant that's going to produce flowers or fruit inside your house. But for seedlings, you're not going to have a grow light. A LED light will work, and this is just a shop light, and I got to get another one because Hoss trays are a little bit wider than the ones that I'm used to, so I'm gonna get another one, and I'll have 2 on here. And you want it about 1 inch or 2 from the ceiling, and you can raise it. I'm gonna use books because this LED really doesn't put off much heat, so I'm cool with using a book. Or if I find out that that may be too hot, then I can go with something else. But a brick, even bricks would work. You want it close as you can get it because you don't want them to get leggy, and if they get too tall, then you can always, you can just move it up. You want to keep this soil mix moist all the time. You don't want it saturated and soggy wet, but you don't want it to dry out either. You just want it just moist. So I'll watch and gauge it as it goes, but this is a super cheap, economical way that you can grow seedlings in your house. Seed tray and an LED light. if for some reason some of these plants get bigger faster than the rest, some of the other ones, then I may take those out and repot them. You know, just experiment, have fun with it. And if something doesn't make it, it's not the end of the world. I also get asked from time to time is, how do I store my seeds? For the most part, I store my seeds in this shoebox. Seriously, right here. I'm sure some will say this is not the most ideal way to store seeds, but that's what I do, and really no issues at all. I do keep some in the freezer too, kind of a larger seeds I'll put in the freezer, but for all my little seeds I just keep them in a shoebox in just a cool dark area of the house. Hey, if you want to see more of our gardening videos, check out this playlist right over here. If you're new to the channel, like what you see, hit the subscribe button right down below. Y'all be good.